Hello everyone, welcome to AWS Tutorials. In AWS Tutorials, we provide workshops and exercises to learn about AWS services. These workshops and exercises are published to our website aws-dojo.com. Sometime back, I talked about how to use AWS EventBridge to publish the event messages, route it to the right target, and process the message. And some of my audiences actually ask about how they can use schema with the event bridge. And here I am providing you a very small and to the point video about how to use schema within AWS Event Bridge. So let's get some of the fundamentals of Event Bridge so that we set up the ground rules. So in AWS Event Bridge, you can either use default event bus, or you can create your custom event bus or partner event bus to be able to publish event messages. And these event messages are can be published from various sources, be it AWS services or your custom applications or even third-party partner SaaS applications. These sources can publish their event messages to the event bus, and then you create various rules on the event bus in order to process this message using certain set of targets. And these messages either can be processed based on the schedule, or these messages can also be processed based on like a pub-sub model. So on the occurrence of the event publishing. And when doing so, you create a rules, and these rules can actually route your messages to one or more target, and they can really do very smart routing. So they can do really content-based routing. So based on the source of the message or content of the message, they can do the routing of the messages to the different type of targets. And then targets are responsible to process your message. So this is a very quick summary about how Event Bridge works. And I have already created one video and exercise to learn about processing of event messages in Event Bridge. So I have also provided the URL of this video and exercise in the description box below. You can watch it if you don't understand how Event Bridge works. And if you know already, you are good to proceed to the remaining part where I'm going to talk about using schema within Event Bridge. So moving on. So today we are going to focus on schema. Now, when you are trying to publish your messages to Event Bridge, to be very honest, your source can publish any message. It can really send any message to the event bus. But what if you want to build one application where your schema integrity is very important, where you want your client applications to be able to send a validated schema, a valid schema based event, and your target also able to process a valid schema based event. And it is, if you're trying to build a business application, it is very important. I mean, sometimes you want to keep your message vague, but many other times you want your schema of the messages to be so precise in terms of number of fields, type of data fields, so that your business application can work without any flaw. And in such cases, your schema discovery really helps. So what you can do in Event Bridge, that you can create schema registry, which is nothing but a collection of schema. So you can create more than one schema registry. Each schema registry can have more than one schema. And within schema registry, then you can create multiple schemas. And you can create multiple schema. In your schema, you define what different fields you want to capture, what are data types of the fields, things like that. And then what you can do that based on this schema, you can generate code binding. And then this code binding actually provides you an event library which your client, like your sources or your target application, can use to make sure that they are handling a valid schema with well-defined fields and their data types. Okay, so this is what we are going to understand in our demo today. So let's move on to our AWS console and see how all this work. So again, I'm not going to touch the event part. We have already talked about that in a separate video. So I simply jump onto schema registry and I say go to the schema, and first I want to create a registry. And as I said earlier, the registry is kind of collection of a schema. You can have more than one schema under one registry. If suppose you have got a number of schema, you might want to organize your schemas under different registry. It depends on different type of events you are handling or different departments of event you are handling. It could be any way of categorization. So let's call it Dojo schema registry. Okay, and you simply create the schema. So I'm not going to modify any other thing. So once your schema registry has been created, now you can create multiple schemas under this registry. So let me create one schema under this. And first you select which registry you want to keep the schema. We have only one custom schema registry. Then you give your schema name. Let's say Dojo schema is the schema name. And then comes defining your schema. Now you can define your schema in two type of formats. One is your Open API 3.0, and second is JSON schema draft 4. And you can use one of these methods. I'm saying Open API 3.0. You can click on this load template button over here. It will load the template based on Open API 3.0. And of course, you can modify that template to create your own schema. Or similar to this one, you can also go to the JSON schema draft 4.0, click on the load template over here. It will upload the template for JSON schema, and you can modify that template and create the kind of schema you want. But the one method I want to show you, which I find pretty simple but powerful, is discover from JSON. So if you are dealing with JSON messages, this could be a boon or can simplify your job of creating the schema. Here you can actually type in your JSON message or copy paste your JSON message, and it will generate schema for you. So let's suppose I want to create a schema where my event actually publish certain topic and rating of those topics. If that is kind of message I want to publish, how do I generate a schema for that? So let's start getting JSON over here, but this JSON you can also copy paste. So say I'm creating a JSON document saying topic, and I just simply say, okay, some name of the topic, nothing more than that. And then I have got rating, and then your rating is actually say 4.1. And I close. So you can see that now this is a valid JSON document. And suppose this is the message I want to publish to my event bus, and I want to make sure that my event source, when they create the message, they create a tight message with this kind of schema, and my target, which is also processing the message, understand what is the structure of my schema. So once I have written my JSON document over here, I simply can click on discover the schema, and it will generate the schema of my message based on my message. So you can see over here, it's pretty straightforward. It says that this is an event, and then it has two fields, rating and topic. Rating is actually a number type, and format is double, and the topic is a string type. Yeah, pretty straightforward. And we simply go and say I want to create my schema. So now my schema has been created. Okay, so if you go to the all schema, in fact, you can see your schema listed. One interesting thing you'll find here that you can sort your schema based on actually your fields. So for instance, if I type in rating here, actually you can see that, okay, rating is a field inside Dojo schema. So very good. Similarly, if I say topic here, it shows me two schema which have topic as one of the fields defined. there. So literally you can do your schema search as well in your schema registry. So now that my schema has been created, I can open the schema. I can create multiple versions of the schema, and these versions can be separately deleted or downloaded. But now the next very important thing I'm interested in is generate a code binding, which then can be used by either my source applications or my target applications to handle my event schema, event messages. So I click on download code binding. At present, it gives me choice to download in Java, TypeScript, or Python languages. You can choose whichever you want. I'm sure in future more language get supported over here. And if you have very complex event, very complex schema, it can take quite some time. It can take up to 5 minutes to generate the code binding. Or if it is simpler message, it takes literally no time. So if I simply click on say, hey, Python is my language of choice, and say I want to download, it will download my schema. It will generate my schema code binding, and it will download it. Now I can save it into my folder. So local folder. So now let's go to the local folder and see how schema look like. So this is my schema code binding. So I'm going to extract all first of thing. Okay. And then if I extract it there, so this is my schema which has been generated. So first thing first, let's see the README text file. See if I open this one. And reading README is very important because it provides you some very important messages from what kind of Python version it supports, and does this code binding has dependency on any of the Python packages. And you can see over here that it says that it needs Python 3.6 onwards, and it has dependency on two packages, 6 and regex, and also provides you the version of those packages which needs to be installed. So now you have two choices here onwards in order to install it. Once you can create a requirement.txt document like this, and then you can simply say pip install recursively my requirement.txt packages. Or the other is, guys, generally you use this method if you want, you want to build some kind of if your list of your packages are very high or big, or you can simply say pip3 installed zix, and then pip3 install regex, and you can have your both of the packages installed. So before you use code binding, please make sure that your dependencies are sorted out. Now let's go and see the schema. So here is my Dojo schema folder. I've got 3 files over here, and all 3 are pretty straightforward. I've got marshaller, I've got my init file, and then I have got my event.python file. Now this is the file where my schema has been generated as a code. And what is important here, guys, is that the data type. So you can see here the rating is a float type, and your topic is a string type. That means whenever my source is trying to create this event message, or my target application is trying to handle this message, they can easily handle messages with these data types. And it really creates I will say, a very tight binding code to ensure that they can write a very complex and data-driven business application. So now this is how my generated binding code binding look like. If I want to use this code binding, suppose I want to use as source applications, what I need to do is simply create a new file. So I simply say I want to create a new file, and I'll say it is my source client.python file. Okay, and I open it. And here, first I need to import the package. So I'll simply copy paste from here. try to keep my job simple. So I simply copy paste the event from the schema, Dojo schema event package. And then in order to create the event, I simply say E equal to, for instance, new event. And I can say here topic equal to, say, schema in AWS, AWS event bridge, and say my rating is 5.0. Yeah. So you can see, you can here, like in this case, I'm showing you example of creating a source client, which is responsible for publishing the event message to the event bus, and it can really create object-based programming, a very tightly coupled object or tightly data type based object to ensure that it is sending a valid schema to the event bus. Similarly, you can also use similar code inside your target application to handle the event published routed to it in a similar way. So I'm not going to show you the code of publishing the message or handling the message, because a part of that I have already covered in my other video. You might want to watch that. But here my purpose was to show you how you can create a schema and how you can generate code binding out of schema, and then you can use it in your source in your applications to able to either create events or able to process the events in a very tight fashion. Okay, so that was all for this video, guys. Hope you like this video, and if you like, please click on the like button and please subscribe to my channel. Similar to these videos, we have many other videos and workshops and exercises actually which you can use to learn about AWS services. So please explore that and see if you find something interesting which can help you learn something or solve one of the problems you're dealing with. If you have any feedback, you can provide us feedback in the comment section of the YouTube channel, or you can also click on this contact us tab and can provide feedback there as well. Like I mentioned that when I published this EventBridge video and exercise, some of the audiences do ask about that, hey, they want to learn how to use schema with the EventBridge, and here I am with that topic. So please, if you have any topic which you want me to work on, either because you want to learn or you want to solve some of your business problem, please don't hesitate to provide me your feedback, and I'm happy to make video to address your concerns, your problem. So that was all for today, guys. Again, reminding you, don't forget to like my video and subscribe to the channel. And I promise to come back with another video and exercise or workshop in a couple of days. Meanwhile, stay safe and have a nice day. Bye-bye.